Imagine having the ability to listen to a song and then repeat that song without needing the sheet music. That is the superpower that Mikey has. He's an adult living with 22Q, and I had the honor to chat with him about his passion for drumming and what it was like for him growing up living with 22Q. I'm so excited to introduce you to Mikey. Welcome to the 22Q podcast. My name is Becky White, and today I am really excited to have Mike with me. I met him through social media. I saw that he was in a band and extremely talented on the drums. And I just was really excited to reach out to him and see if he'd want to be on the podcast because he is an adult living with 22Q, and I'd love to just hear his perspective today. Mike, thank you so much for being here. And please introduce yourself.
I'm from Fresno, and there's not much to do in the valley, so we just do like music. Yeah, just have fun all the time.
Mm-hmm. And where do you work?
I work at a local deli shop called Moto Fresno. It's across the street from Fresno High School, which is the first school ever built here. That area has been around since like 1912, so it's like a really like historic area in town, so it's like really like hip and like artsy around there, so it's really fun to work there.
Nice. And have you lived there your whole life?
I haven't lived in this house my whole life, but I live like down the street from my childhood home, which is pretty cool. So
that's great. And when did you first pick up your first set of drumsticks? Tell me about that.
I was 4 or 5, and I just got done watching Tarzan with that scene when the gorillas go to the campsite and destroy all the pots and pans and just started banging on them. And then I decided to do the same thing with the kitchen in our house.
No.
I got the chopsticks and stuff, and I started and my parents were okay with it because they realized I was actually doing like actual beats and the rhythm to the songs that were on the show, and they decided to give me an electric kit so they'll like be okay with the noise of it. And then I joined a percussion group called We Got the Beat at the age of 7 till I was about 13, and we just like performed at schools and like fairs and stuff like that. So that's how I learned how to play with like other people and stuff. So
like reading music?
Not reading music, actually.
No.
We just learned by ear, and there's like actually I learned how to play piano through the marimbas and vibraphones, which is technically a percussion instrument too. So I learned how to play piano through that too at 13. Wow. And it's just like from there I just always played with other people and stuff like that.
So even today, do you always play by sound as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is amazing. Not many people's brains can do that. Not many people's brains can hear something and then repeat it, which is just so fascinating. And honestly, you're not the first person I met with 22Q that can do that.
We have a very unique brain, I guess.
But it's like a hidden superpower, really.
Yeah.
That many people would be so envious to have. How, when you're playing the drums, how does it make you feel?
See, I can't do a lot of physical things. Like, I've always liked watching sports, and I have like really bad knee problems. They bother me a lot, so I can't really run or like do any physical activity. So like drums are kind of like the only like physical thing I could do, I guess. So I'm like just really passionate about it, and there's just like a lot of like multitasking, and you're like never bored with it, which is like the thing that I just enjoy doing like every day. I try to practice every day. It's just really hard to like find time with work and everything like that. But yeah.
And tell me about your band.
The band we've started after the pandemic ended. They were all in another band called Valkyrie Missile in Fresno, which is named after a Blink 182 song, or some other Tom DeLonge song from a long time ago. But they started after their old drummer moved away and they wanted to start something else. And they knew me from like other bands from the past because I've been in like nine other bands before that. I just always play with like everybody. And we just decided to start a project, and they hit me up on like Facebook. And our first show was at a brewing company in downtown Fresno, and our EP release show was there, so that was pretty cool too. And yeah, it was in March of 2021
Mm-hmm.
that we our first show was, and from there
Nice.
we just like grew as friends and stuff like that.
And what's the name of the band?
Our name is Hillblocks View, which I didn't name, and I'm not a fan of the name, but it's our name, so it's okay. I guess.
Where does the name come from? What's the meaning
So
behind it?
it's a street sign. Nathan, our guitar player, explained it so much better because he was the one that came up with it. But
Got it.
it's about like anxiety and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a street sign, I guess. And the funny thing is, our one of our big fans, Luke, from here, he supports a lot of local bands. And he actually went across the country, and in West Virginia, he saw this sign actually and took a picture with it in front of it. So that
Oh,
was really cool. Yeah.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So that's the name of the band.
Well, it sounds like you guys are doing really well, and good luck. And I will definitely put a link in the description of this podcast so people
Oh,
can find you and hear your music.
thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to hear about your 22Q journey, when it started, like when did you first realize you had 22Q? And I guess we can start there.
Yeah. I think it was after the my heart surgery that I had at the age of 6
Mm-hmm.
when I realized I had like a problem with myself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
My parents had to explain it to me like multiple times, and I'm like, oh, I just have like heart problems. That's really about it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like in elementary school, I kind of found out that, oh, I actually have like something wrong with my bones and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard to like remember like actually how I came to realize that I actually have
Mm-hmm.
22Q,
Yeah.
but I still don't fully understand it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's like it's okay. It's like I could have something worse, so I'm just like okay with it. I just like bringing like knowledge to people like about it though, which is pretty cool because not a lot of people know what it is. So
Yeah, it's a deletion and not many people
yeah,
know about it. And
yeah,
that's why we're here today, is just to share your perspective and what it's like living with it. So when you were younger, you had mentioned your heart, but when you
yeah,
were really little, do you remember having any surgeries or
yeah,
anything when you were
yeah.
younger?
I had a speech problem when I was really young. I think it was like after or like even before the surgery. I had trouble like talking,
Hmm.
and I got a lot better obviously, but I couldn't pronounce my R's, or and I had a lisp as well. But that really helped. My parents helped out a lot with that too. And I'm like the only person in my family that kind of like reads a lot too, so that's pretty good. I still struggle with that a little bit. I just like doing it because it helps me like speak better. Yeah, it was just like after the surgery, I just started to realize stuff.
So you had a hole in your heart, you had mentioned?
Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but I have a tattoo of it. If you could see it,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Nice. So it's a heart. Can you explain it
It's
for
the
anybody
yeah.
listening?
It's I can't explain it that well, but I just got it because like there's like a couple of holes in my heart, but I had
Hmm.
like a ultrasound of it, and the doctor said it was like all healed up and stuff, and she couldn't tell like it had surgery. So I mean
Good.
that's good, but
There's no scar
yeah,
tissue or anything.
no,
Good.
yeah,
Good. So you had your heart surgery when you were younger. You started to realize, okay, I have 22Q. That's why I've been going to speech therapy. That's why, things may be a little different or harder.
Yeah.
Did you have any other doctor's appointments when you were younger that you just kind of went to and were like, oh, okay, everybody goes to these?
Yeah, actually, like when I realized I had it, I actually went to UC Davis, which is in Davis, California, and they actually studied 22q there, which my uncle actually went to. But like I talked to a couple of doctors there, and then they said like, oh, you should go to like Philadelphia. They want to like get to know you better. So I flew all the way to Philadelphia, which was really fun. And I talked to like 20 other doctors there, just like explaining like, oh, I okay, this is actually pretty legit.
Yeah.
I have this problem. Like, yeah, I have knee problems.
Hmm.
Like I have a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, I think I have my parents think I also have ADHD, but
Hmm.
I don't know. That's kind of like you have to get diagnosed with that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So tell me more about your knees. The bone, or is it like the structure?
I think it's the structure because,
Hmm.
and I don't really have health insurance to get it fixed because I did have surgery on it and they put like a screw to help the kneecap not move anymore because I've blown it out like a lot before I had it.
That must have
But
been so painful.
yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty painful, but I kind of got used to the pain, so it was like I'm kind of like over it. And
yeah.
but the last time I blew it out is because I'm a dishwasher. I was a dishwasher for like a really fancy restaurant, but there is this like a busy time in the kitchen, and I said like I said corner when moving, and you have to like knock on the fridge, the walk-in fridge, and nobody did that during the rush, and like someone flew it open and hit my knee, and it flew out, and I burned myself on the oven at the same time.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, I think this screw like broke
Ah,
in my
ouch.
something. But I'm walking fine though, but it's just like it hurts a lot sometimes when
Yeah.
that happens. But yeah, it's just like it locks in place sometimes, and I sometimes wear a knee brace at work. But my
Hmm.
boss like knows about it. He like knows about everything. So he's like he's one of the best like bosses I've ever had. And he understands like, oh, do you want to take a break or something and at work? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, he's just like really understanding about that kind of stuff, which is really
Good.
cool. I just have trouble standing up for like a long time, so I
Hmm.
just have to like take breaks like once in a while. But yeah,
Yeah. Does that affect your driving or playing the drums at all?
playing the drums, yes, because my like you have to like use your like obviously your feet and stuff, and that's kind of tiring a lot. I think I just have to go to the gym for that, uh, like cardio and everything. But driving, no, not really.
That's good.
Driving actually calms me down, but yeah, drumming a little
Yeah.
bit. But I like kind of like throw that out the window and just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
yeah.
seem like a very positive, optimistic person.
Ah, thanks.
You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. I mean,
um,
I guess when I'm with people, I like being with people, so it's just
yeah.
like, yeah.
How was school for you growing up? Did you like school? Was it difficult, challenging?
Yeah, it was elementary school was kind of difficult, but I still had like friends and stuff that kind of knew what was up. I was like bullied a couple times, but
Hmm.
nothing like major like you see in like the movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. In high
I,
school, I actually went to a pretty good high school, but and it was in like the bad part of Fresno. It's actually a really historic high school too. It's called Roosevelt High School, but which is like nowhere near my house, but it was it was okay because I went to like a program there called Roosevelt School of the Arts, and I learned like acting there, and that really like I was super shy as a kid, so that's what like kind of got me out of my bubble and like
yeah.
very like interactive with like everybody. And I'm just happy I went to that school because like if I didn't like take acting classes, I would have not. been able to talk to like people.
Yeah. Got you
Yeah,
out
and
of
I
your shell.
yeah, and I took like improv there. I had trouble like memorizing lines and stuff, so I just didn't really be in any plays. Although I really wanted to, I just like had trouble memorizing lines.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I just did like tech stuff and like made a lot of friends there. With the people outside of the program, they never like bullied me at all. There's when I had surgery on my knee in high school, people actually like helped me out a lot, which is
Mhm.
like pretty cool. And it's a big campus, so like whenever I like walked to the other side of the campus for a class, people would like strangers would like come up to me and help me out, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool. So
That's great.
yeah, like high school was actually like a really fun time, which
Good.
is pretty cool. Yeah.
It's great that they
But
had the arts program for you as an option. I did want to just mention the bullying thing. How did you kind of get through those bullying times? And if there's any other younger kids with 22Q listening to this,
yeah.
what kind of advice do you have for them to kind of push through and get through it?
See, at the time, I didn't realize I was being bullied. I guess I just thought that they were like being like mean, so I just kind of brushed it off. So I guess like if someone's like bullying you, just like never take it like personal, I guess,
Mhm.
because they also have like problems that they deal them with themselves at home. So like if someone's bullying you, then it's always like about their struggles, I guess. Is what I kind of realized. Yeah, it's just like it has nothing to do with like you. They're just like mad at themselves. Realize that. But like it
Yeah.
was only a few people that did that. I always kind of like stay away from people anyways in like
Yeah.
elementary school and middle
Yeah.
school. But yeah, I just like kind of like brushed it off. Like I kind of got like a little bit depressed after that, like when they say that, but I'm like, I don't really care.
Kids can be
Just like
mean.
yeah, kids are just like mean. When you grow up more, then it will stop. So just like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
You're
That
like more
yeah, that middle school, high school, like beginning of high school is such a tricky time for kids in general with hormones and changing schools and like figuring out who you are. And then, like you just said, people can be super mean because they're
yeah,
dealing with things themselves. So they see
yeah,
someone and they're like, I'm going to put my anger and sadness out on them by making them feel bad. So
yeah.
great advice and input there. So enough about bad guys. Let's talk about you. And let's talk more about, after high school, what was next for you? What was that like for you, that transition from high school into the quote unquote real world?
Yeah. I honestly didn't know what I was doing. I tried college for 2 semesters and I honestly just didn't like it. Like the school I went to, Fresno City College, I just didn't like the teachers that much because I don't know. It was just really hard to follow. I guess I took like music classes and stuff and learned a lot of stuff from there, but like it was stuff I already kind of knew. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, what's the point of that? And I was like, oh, I a lot of my friends are like, oh no, college is pointless. Just get a job and you'll figure things. So I just got a job at a coffee shop and
Mm-hmm.
went from there. I
Nice.
guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
What would be your dream job?
Probably just touring all over the world with a band or like doing like merch for a band or like
Yeah.
whatever. Like I my dream job is drumming for like a really like pop artist, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Cause my old friend slash she taught me drums for like a couple of years, but she's from Fresno. And have you heard of Olivia Rodrigo
No.
before? She's a
No.
she's a she's like an up and coming like pop artist.
Okay.
Uh, but she's like up there. She's like she's getting there. But my old friend slash drum teacher drums for her now, like out of nowhere, and I'm like, what the heck? That's so cool. Like she's been on like Conan. She's been on the like other like late night shows with her, and just like and I'm
Yeah.
like that's like kind of my dream job because the songs are easy, the pay is good, and you have fun like touring around the world and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's like, and then a lot of people are like, "Oh no, that's not a real job and stuff," and I'm like, "You don't know what you're talking about."
And even if there's so many jobs behind the scenes, even if you're not
Yeah,
on stage, like drum tech, like
drum
checking the
tech,
drum
everything.
set, making like transporting the drums, like
That
just
is
got to
crazy.
connect with the right person, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it happens. But
Especially in California, you never know if you're gonna like run into that does that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, a
Yep.
lot of
No,
people
that,
here.
yeah. Well, if anybody's listening and they need a drum tech or a drummer, we have one here. We need to talk to your band first, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I
we'll
think they'll
see.
be okay
I don't want them
with
to get mad at me.
it.
All right. So school was good for the most part. You gained
Mhm.
a lot of confidence through theater, found your way, got a job, and then, tell me, what has been the biggest struggle for you with your 22Q?
Probably my knee problems have been like a really like struggle to like do things physical like I want to do. I do have like a lot of anxiety when it comes to like my heart and stuff because I can't have caffeine because of the anxiety. So like I'm just tired like all the time and then just like I used to drink coffee. I used to be a barista. So um I think that just the coffee just like freaked me out. Like, oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack because I had heart surgery. But like my heart's fine, but my brain just still like messes with me about
Yeah.
that. So I'm just like staying away from caffeine, which is a lot of people like everybody drinks and like, oh, there
Hmm.
it's so good. And I just feel left out from that.
Yeah.
And like when I see people run or just like have fun, I kind of like get sad from that. I'm like, I
Hmm.
wish I could do that stuff, but I still try to go to the gym and enjoy it, but it's just like really hard to like enjoy life when you can't do physical things, I
Hmm.
guess, which is
Hmm.
just like I wanted to play baseball when I was a kid. Like I wanted to be in the majors and stuff like that, but like now like seeing like other people play and I'm just like that could have been me
I
sort of
know.
thing. So it's just like really tough out there. And a lot of people like just like they don't like make fun of it, but they realize I talk in like a high pitched tone a little bit sometimes, and they kind of make fun of it. That kind of hurts a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't know where it came from, probably the surgery or something like that, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
They
It's
don't
like,
know what
oh,
you're going
they
through.
don't,
They don't,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, they
Uh,
don't understand that 22Q affects your
yeah,
entire body for some people.
yep,
And you have nothing you did, you just have
yeah,
it. Hmm.
yep.
Does seeing baseball players still kind of hurt sometimes? Are you still
Mhm.
sort of grieving that?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I sometimes like I don't really have a lot of people like a lot of people in the music industry don't really like sports that much, and but the bass player from my band actually does, thank god, because all of my other friends from like all the other bands like didn't care for it. So
Yeah.
like we play catch sometimes before shows and stuff to loosen up, and that just like takes the stress away sometimes, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
super fun to do, I guess.
Who's your favorite team?
I like the Giants. My parents actually met in San Francisco, and my grandpa, who's no longer with us, had a house there. So like every summer and winter break, we always went there and went to the games and stuff. So it was like a big like childhood like thing. So it's just always stuck with me and stuff. So yeah,
Did you go to games with your grandpa?
yeah, all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Like our first game, we saw Barry Bonds, who is their legend player.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I just like he was the one that made me like love baseball and stuff like that. So
Nice.
we're not doing too good right now, but yeah, it was just like I'm just passionate about baseball and music, and that's about it.
Hmm.
Keeps me
Hmm.
going. Yeah.
Is there anything else you find that you've had to grieve through or still are working through with 22Q other than baseball?
Probably it's kind of weird because I like to help people out a lot. So like if someone needs something like helping like carrying stuff, then I'm like, oh, I can't like lift heavy things that well. Then I'll like grieve about it because like I can't help that person out, especially at work, because like my boss knows and he doesn't like ask me for help when it comes to like lifting heavy things. So I'm like, I want to help you guys, like, but like I can't. And it just like
Yeah.
with that, even with carrying drums around, because I still haven't gotten my kid out of my car yet from the show
I was going
because
to ask, how do you get your stuff around?
yeah, I actually kind of have a drum tech with me. He's also a drummer, but he's like a for the recordings on our EP. I recorded drums myself. I want to like go back to school and actually like learn how to do it like better. I mean, there is like other individual like schools that teach you how to do that, but it costs a lot of money for
Yeah.
sure. But
If
probably
only
just
education was free.
yeah, yeah.
Seriously. Oh,
And
I
get
know.
barely any jobs with that. So
Yeah. Well, keep reaching for it, but good luck with that if you do decide.
thanks.
So I just want to see, if you let people know who aren't living with 22Q what it's like. So if you were on stage and you could tell the world something about 22Q and what it's like living with it that you would love everybody to know, what would that be?
Um, Still waking up. uh, I mean, if you see someone that's, I don't know, because like all of us are just unique. I guess it's really, really hard to tell if someone has it because not a lot of people know it. So it's really hard to explain. I don't know. Like, just treat everybody like equally, because like even if they're just act weird or something like that, everybody's weird in their own way. So like, who cares? I guess.
I like
See,
it.
just treat everybody with
Mhm.
kindness. It's like if someone's like gay or something like that, they want to be treated like equally. And same thing with people with disabilities. We want to be treated like equally too.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like the same thing, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Beautifully
So
said. I like
yeah.
it. I think we should make t-shirts that say everybody's weird.
Yeah, everybody's weird.
I
Pretty
like
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a bumper sticker too, somewhere.
Yeah, everybody's weird. Just accept it.
Everybody's weird. Just accept it. And my friend actually just got back from New York City, and she said she would rather live there because everybody's weird there, and she
Oh
thinks
yeah.
she's weird. So like she just felt comfortable there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
A
I'm like,
lot of people that just are themselves. I just went
yeah,
2 weeks ago as well. And there's many times where you're walking down the street and you're like, whoa.
yeah,
Like just the outfits and they don't care. They're just
yeah.
being
They really
themselves.
don't.
They're being their 100% selves and going for it, which is admirable. And not many people have the confidence to do. So
Yeah, and
kudos to anybody that does.
I'm the only one in my family that hasn't been in New York City yet. So I'm willing to go there one day.
You will. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's loud and big, but it's awesome.
yeah.
It's really fun. Is there anything else I may not have mentioned that you want to touch upon that I may not have talked about?
um, no, I think you've
Oh, tell me
I,
about the magazine.
the magazine. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was when I was in Philadelphia. Messaged my parents or like emailed them or something, and they're like, "We saw you," and I don't remember it because I was 4, but I
But
guess
they
I was
had you
like,
come out and they
yeah.
asked you a bunch of questions and then they created what?
It was just like a magazine. I think we still have it here. They told me I was like the cutest kid, and then want a photo shoot, and I'm like, okay. I didn't know what it was for, but
Yeah.
it was just
And it
like a
was like a
random.
22Q like magazine to educate others about the 22Q deletion,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And when was this? Wait, like
2000. 2001.
2000.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, all right, Mike, thank you again. And just thank you for just being so honest and open and sharing your story with me. I wish you the best of luck with your band. Keep going for your dreams. And I just want to say thank you again for being on today.
Thank you. This is fun. Quite an experience. So.
Mikey, thank you so much for being on the podcast today and sharing your optimistic outlook on life. I wish you nothing but the best. You're an extremely talented drummer, and good luck to you and your band. To all of our listeners, please check out the links below to see his band in action on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and check out their website. And I'd also like to just thank all of our audience for listening, subscribing, sharing, and liking this podcast. Every time you do that, you help to raise awareness about 22Q, and it means the world to me. If you'd like to reach me, you can contact me through email at 22qpodcast@gmail.com with any questions, or if you would like to be on the podcast, feel free to reach out. And until next time, never forget, 22Q family, that you are not alone.